Hello everyone, my name is James, and I am absolutely thrilled to welcome you back to the Easy English podcast. This remarkable podcast is created to help our growing community of English learners like you improve their English, assisting both beginners and those wanting to upgrade their language skills.
Absolutely right, James. It's always a pleasure to see familiar faces and new joining us on this fascinating journey into the English language. From practical everyday vocabulary to the subtle nuances that make English such a rich and diverse language, our goal is to make learning intuitive and engaging for everyone.
Yes, Anna, it's indeed an enriching journey that we're on. Today's episode touches on something everyone can relate to: the intricacies of navigating through life's challenges.
Exactly, James. Life is sometimes a roller coaster. It is rich with wonderful moments, but interspersed with periods of stress, problem solving, and of course, decision making. And you know what? We experience all of these in our everyday lives.
That's right, and this is why this episode is dedicated to teaching you the English language that you need to talk about these moments. Here is how today's episode will work. First, we'll introduce a short conversation between our two friends, John and Maria.
Yes, and remember, like always, we aim to use real-life, everyday English, with loads of useful phrases about dealing with stress, confusion, and the difficult choices we have to make in life.
Then after the conversation, Anna and I will break down each important word and phrase for you. We'll explain what it means, provide simple examples, and maybe even share some relatable personal stories to make things more fun.
Absolutely, James. We're here to make sure that you understand everything in the conversation, so don't worry if you don't catch everything the first time. You can always pause, go back, and listen again.
That's for sure, Anna. So, folks, are you ready to see how our characters, John and Maria, navigate through a particularly challenging week? John has a lot of things going on, and we'll get a front row seat to observe it all unfold. Let us pull back the curtain and delve into our story. Maria, my mind feels like an imploded maze today. It's as if I'm in a total muddle. Everything is clouded, nothing is making sense or falling into place. It's just chaos. My thoughts feel scrambled, and it's becoming more torturous with each passing moment.
Oh, dear. That sounds distressing, John. Has something happened recently? Is it work-related perhaps, or something else? Is this confusion stemming from a specific source, or does it feel like a general haze?
You've hit the nail on the head, Maria. It's a cocktail of work and just general life stress. Presently, I'm grappling with a gargantuan dilemma. I have 2 job offers knocking on my door. While both are excellent opportunities in their own right, I'm torn between them. It's like being stuck between a rock and a hard place, and it's suffocating, to say the least.
Wow, John. That indeed sounds like a potent brew. Would you mind sharing a bit more about these job offers? Perhaps talking it out could provide some clarity.
Absolutely, Maria. The first one is at a high-profile company, well-settled and pays significantly well. The salary is an attractive number, and the swanky office location is definitely a cherry on the cake. However, the core work appears to be a cycle of monotonous tasks.
Quite a predicament, John. The allure of a good pay can sometimes overshadow the essence of the work itself.
Right you are, Maria! It's mostly number crunching, buried in spreadsheets and reports, day in and day out. It's not the adventure I pictured my job to be, which makes it feel a bit like an anticlimax.
I can see how that could lead to a bit of a disillusionment. A mind-engaging job certainly has its own value. But juggling between your passion and practicality, that's a hard balancing act, John.
You've captured it perfectly, Maria. The second job is everything I've dreamed of doing, working closely with people, planning and overseeing events, even traveling from time to time. It sounds challenging and engaging, which is thrilling me. You could say, it's the complete opposite of the spreadsheet job.
An opportunity to follow your passion, John. Sounds amazing, however, there's a but in your voice. Let me guess. The compensation is not as appealing as the first job?
You're spot on, Maria! That's exactly it. Though the second job sounds fantastic, the pay is significantly less. The dilemma? Do I lean towards the promise of a hefty paycheck or the gratification of a job that stirs my passion?
I'm familiar with this conundrum, John. Stability against joy? It's indeed a classic predicament.
It's a challenging one, Maria. And, to top it all, the stress at my current job is just adding fuel to the fire. They keep piling up assignments on my plate. No benefits, no help. I feel cornered, as if trying to navigate through a maelstrom of problems.
That sounds intense, John. Of all the things that could play on your nerves, minor inconveniences can be mildly irritating, like perhaps misplacing keys, missing a bus ride. It gives rise to a twinge of annoyance which we can overcome after a few minutes. But, what you're facing seems rather enduring and intensively annoying. It's a kind of stress that lingers, constantly tugging at your peace of mind.
Indeed, Maria! My frustration tolerance is reducing by the second. Even something as trivial as people leaving their dirty dishes in the office kitchen irritates me now, much more than it ever did before. I feel like my patience in general has been brutally exploited. Some days, Maria, all I desire is to take a back seat, to step back. I just want to stop wading through every curveball and allow someone else to take control. Let them manage the ensuing calamity.
And there's nothing wrong with that, John. You know, there's strength in acknowledging that you can't always be the torchbearer. Sometimes, stepping back grants you the breathing space to heal, rejuvenate, and reevaluate things.
You're right, Maria, perhaps it's time I took a breather. Despite everything, I've been trying to maintain an optimistic outlook. They say every cloud has a silver lining. I've been telling myself that perhaps I'm beginning to see the light at the end of the tunnel with all this chaos. Hoping that this tumultuous phase will pass soon, hopefully.
Hold on to that belief, John. You're stronger than you realize. However, it's true what you say. You need to make a decision soon. Procrastination here could lead you down a path where you may reach a dead end, and then, none of these job options might be available anymore.
That's precisely what I fear, Maria. The core of my worries lies in missing out on both these opportunities, owing to indecision, and consequently staying stuck in my current, soul-munching job.
Well then, the first step to rid yourself of this fear, get to the bottom of things. Seek out the truth about both jobs. Don't hesitate to ask some tough questions. Reach out to people already employed there. Obtain some honest insights, ones that are different from what they just tell you in the interviews. The deeper you dig, the closer you'll get to making an informed decision.
That sounds like a good strategy, Maria. I'll shoot off a few emails to both the organizations, maybe even ring up a few folk there. I want to understand what a typical day at work would entail in reality.
One way to get to the bottom of this is by understanding what truly matters to you, John. Time to ask yourself some hard questions. Would you rather have more money and feel utterly drained each day, or relieve your purse strings a bit, but look forward to what each new day at work brings?
I guess I need some soul searching to completely grasp what my heart desires in terms of my job. No one can tell me the right answer, and ultimately, I think understanding what my heart yearns for should assist me in making a sensible decision. I appreciate the advice, Maria. Talking about it has helped me clear my head a bit. I still feel a little overwhelmed, but I can at least see a path forward now.
John, remember to give yourself time. Ask the necessary questions. Listen to your instincts. You're a lot stronger and more capable than you give yourself credit for.
Thanks, Maria. I really value your guidance. I needed that reassurance today.
You're welcome, John. That's what friends are for.
Wow! That's quite a handful to engage with. Sounds like John really had a challenging situation, didn't he? Generally dealing with personal internal conflicts while juggling additional work pressure is certainly no cup of tea.
Absolutely, James, and it's impressive how we got to hear a variety of phrases within that singular conversation. So, let's delve into those expressions. Let's start from the very first thing John shared. He said he felt like he was in a muddle. Typically, when you employ the term muddle, it conveys more than just a state of busyness. It implies that your mind feels completely disoriented. You're grappling with confusion and uncertainty about what course of action to adopt.
Quite true, Anna. It's a scenario when your mind feels a flurry of thoughts and tasks, to the point that you can't distinguish what needs attention first. It's akin to everything feeling mixed up, like a jigsaw puzzle you're struggling to solve.
Definitely, James. The term muddle is quite relatable. Like once, I remember having moved to a new city, new dwelling, new work, new neighborhood. The entire change was so overwhelming that I felt in a complete muddle for several days.
No kidding, Anna! I experienced something similar when I got my first engineering job. Traditional 9 to 5 wasn't my schedule anymore. It was dripping caffeine at 5 a.m., finalize project plans, assign tasks, manage hectic meetings, you get the drill. And yet, I'd always leave something behind. One day, even wore mismatched socks. Would you believe it?
Yup, mismatched socks certainly is a testament to being in a complete muddle. And listeners, note that to be in muddle isn't indicative of being lazy or inefficient. It simply implies that sometimes life throws a lot your way and your mindset takes some time to adapt.
Feel free to leave a comment and tell us about a time when you felt in a muddle. We'll be back in a moment after a short break. Welcome back, folks. Now, let's delve deeper into the conversation between John and Maria and discuss the intriguing phrases they used. The first one on our list is facing a dilemma. A dilemma represents a situation wherein we have to make a decision between two alternatives, both of which have their distinct pros and cons, thereby making the choice difficult.
That's a brilliant explanation, James. You're right, a dilemma can encompass both minor and major decisions in life. So you see, folks, this phrase is quite versatile. You can use it to explain both, choosing between two birthday parties on the same night, or between moving to a new country and staying back.
Absolutely, Anna. Navigating through these choices often leads to a great deal of stress because there's always this looming fear of making an incorrect decision. I distinctly remember a personal experience when I was left grappling with one such dilemma. It was during my final year at the university when I received two job offers. The first one was at a renowned company in London. It was all very exciting, and the other one was closer to home, at a smaller company, but it offered more time for leisure activities. To be honest, that dilemma had me all worked up.
Oh boy, dilemmas sure have a way of sending us into a tizzy. An interesting point to remember here is the classic dilemma of the head versus the heart, wherein you're left torn between your logical deductions and your emotional leanings. This significantly ups the ante and makes choosing even more difficult.
Spot on, Anna! It brings us to another phrase that deserves a worthy mention in a tight corner. Now, this metaphorical phrase is often used when one feels trapped or stuck in uncomfortable or challenging situations. Being in a tight corner essentially alludes to a state where you have very limited choices or find yourself in tough spots.
Totally agree with you, James. When you find yourself in a tight corner, it's usually a solitary experience that makes you feel somewhat helpless and leaves you grappling with the situation.
Yes, and sometimes, these tight corners can push you to the brink, whether it's on a professional front or in your personal life. It's the kind of situation where you feel like you're hemmed in and just can't see a way out. But remember, folks, every wall has a door, you just got to find it.
That's some fabulous advice, James. We hope our listeners can take a cue from that. Life might land you in tight corners now and then, but there's always a way out. All you need is a little patience and wisdom.
Now, folks, we're going to take another short break. Stay tuned as we continue deciphering more phrases from John and Maria's conversation after the break. Stay tuned, folks! And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, folks, difficult roads often lead to beautiful destinations.
That's beautifully put, James. And speaking of difficulties, let's delve more into a phrase that completely embodies this sentiment: see the light at the end of the tunnel. This phrase is often used to express the act of discerning a solution or relief when you're in the midst of a challenging situation.
Absolutely right, Anna. And you know, this phrase becomes all the more relatable when you've been through a phase where everything seemed dim and desolate, you know, when everything seems to be collapsing around you. But then, slowly but steadily, you start to see a minor trace of solution or relief, which provides an assurance that things will get better.
Totally, James, and that's the beauty of hope, isn't it? At the end of the day, we're all just looking for that light at the end of the tunnel, a valid testament to our human spirit and resilience amplified.
Yes, hope is a powerful tool. From that note, let's move on to come to a dead end. This phrase conveys the act of not being able to proceed further due to lack of options or viable solutions. It's about reaching a point where there isn't any way to make progress.
Very aptly explained, James. In life, there are times when, despite persistent efforts, we might come to a dead end, where we're left with no alternatives. But such moments also have the potential to serve as turning points, rendering the courage to start afresh.
Absolutely, Anna. A dead end could very well be the start of a new journey. It's all about perspective, after all.
True that, rosy perspectives can change the gloomiest situation. Well said, James.
Thank you, Anna. Now, let's move to our next phrase, to get a grasp. This entails understanding something fundamentally, with clarity, like really getting the hang of it.
Indeed, getting a grasp isn't about having a superficial understanding. Instead, it's about delving deeper, gaining intricate knowledge, and achieving a comprehensive understanding on the matter.
Thank you, Anna, for a comprehensive understanding of to get a grasp. I guess our listeners have got a decent grasp of it by now.
I'd like to believe so, yes.
Stay tuned, listeners, as we delve deeper into this linguistic adventure right after a short break. We are back, folks, and approaching the end of our episode. We have tackled some pretty intense dialogues today, all aimed at helping you gain insights into authentic everyday English. Thank you for hanging in there and joining us on this linguistic journey.
Yes, indeed, James. It's been an enriching journey. Remember, listeners, it's through these conversational expeditions that we gain the most profound understanding and mastery of a language.
That's right, Anna. It's about immersing ourselves in linguistic nuances and demanding our minds to think in a language that is foreign to us.
Absolutely, James. And, believe us when we say, the dividends you reap from this immersive experience are enormous and long-lasting.
Absolutely. Now, to conclude on an enlightening note, let's delve into our final phrase for today, to get to the bottom of things. This phrase draws upon the urge to unearth the underlying facts or the root cause behind a situation or problem.
Yes, just like detectives tirelessly work towards getting to the bottom of their cases, not settling for surface-level understanding or superficial explanations, this phrase resonates with the idea of intense scrutiny and investigation to unearth the hidden facts and to reveal the truth.
Yes, it speaks to the authenticity of our quest to understand and learn English as authentically as possible. And that's our goal here at the Easy English Podcast, to help you get to the bottom of English language and culture.
Absolutely, James. We're on this journey with you, uncovering the depth and beauty of English, and sharing what we find together. And remember folks, even the ocean's depths had to be discovered. So, dive deep into the language with us, and you might just discover pearls of eloquence you never knew existed.
Very well said, Anna. The path to learning and improvement is through making mistakes and learning from them. So, remember folks, never shy away from mistakes. They are your stepping stones to fluency.
That's the spirit, James. With that, it's time for us to say goodbye. We hope you take these words to heart and forge ahead with renewed enthusiasm. Keep practicing and remember to have fun along the way. It's been a pleasure to bring you these insights today.
Absolutely, Anna. This has been the Easy English Podcast at your service, helping you grow with real natural English. We hope you found this episode beneficial. See you next time.
Stay curious, stay committed, and as always, happy learning, everyone.
Bye for now.